right, good morning, cyber traders, and welcome on the 24th of February. Good to see you all, Margaret, Richard, everyone on social media. Welcome back for our morning meeting. And it has been a very ugly market, I'll be honest with you. A couple of things I want to cover and talk about. First of all, a big correction in the market yesterday. You would think that after what happened on Friday, that the U.S. government, um, the Supreme Court overruled the tariffs, that we had a little rally in the market, and then we had a crash yesterday. And was it a crash? Yeah, when you're down 800 points, that is a lot. Percentage wise, when you're at the 4,800, 4,900, no, but it still is a lot of points that people always look at. And then he obviously, President Trump raised the tariffs again, did something else, and the market still came down. So, I was on X. I was listening to a couple of people out there, what they were talking about. I get a couple of videos. I do follow some people in the industry, some analysts and stuff like that. And, they all said the same thing, that there's obviously something going wrong. But you know what I did here, which was great? What's doing well? Day trading. Okay. Because swing trading has been a complete disaster lately. I'm just letting you know a little bit about my swing trades. I've made money and I lost money. I've made money and I lost money. I've been breaking even for the past probably month, maybe 2 months on my swings. And it just, and I'm doing good. And then all of a sudden, I think I'm getting a breakout because I think I got a deal on a stock. And all of a sudden, thing comes back down. I'll give you an example. Coinbase, right? Coinbase, we had a really good deal on it. Bought it all the way down here around the 150s. Stock goes all the way to 167, hits that resistance levels, though we're going to have a good breakout. Sure enough, boom, now we're down to 157. Pretty much right where getting that back down to the lows. And it doesn't end there. There's a bunch of them out there. USAR, look at all these stocks. Look at the only one that's really kind of holding, and we're going to focus on this today because they got earnings tonight, is NVIDIA. But all of them, silver had a good run. Now it's coming back down again. You could see it went to 112. I mean, if you look at all of them, the consistency, if you didn't buy at the lows and sell at the highs, which is really almost, 10% possible, you always buy in between, you kind of flat, as a swing trade. But day trading has done really, really, really well. And I'm finding out more and more people are getting into the day trading because you know what? You make your days pay. And what you made, you made. When you lose. And that's really what comes down to it. So a lot of interesting stocks that are out there. And listen, as I go down the list, look at all of them. Even Apple. Look what Apple is from October to where it is today. Exactly where it started. If I look at any of the fabulous sevens, you can look at them. Google, same thing. Back in November, it's right back to where it was. You think it built the bottom and boom, it's right back to where it was. So I can go on and on and on with all these stocks. Palantir, same thing. 200 down to 129, at that big support level. It looks like a screaming buy right here. But you know what? When it was at 127, it ran to 137. You thought you got a good deal. Look where it is right now. So listen, you want to be a good swing trader. You're going to find them by being a day trader. And the problem about being a day trader is it teaches you how to be extremely conservative, which I don't know if it's a bad thing, but you know what? You will make more money in swing trading, but you can lose it. When you make more, you could lose more. So the only issue is, as being a day trader, when you try to swing trade, you're very conservative and you just don't trust anything. And you could see what happens that if you didn't get out of some of these positions, they're not really doing too well. So listen, when you look at overall the market and you see what the Dow is doing, the S&P, and seeing, well, it has been doing pretty well, overall from where it started, it was at 45 back in October, and now it's at, up 5,000. But technically, if you look at some of the stocks, just remember, and I will always tell you this, the Dow Jones is an artificial number, okay? What they do in the Dow Jones is it's the top 40 stocks out there. If you're not a performer, they kick you out, okay? And they like to they don't want to ruffle the feathers. The S&P 500, you got 500 stocks out there, a little bit more realistic, but same crap. If you're not a good performer, they kick you out. Because remember, there are over 25,000 stocks that trade out there in the market at a given time. So let's be very, very careful what we trade. Now, there are a couple of good stocks this morning that did move. I know a lot of you guys jump on this LRMR. That was a really nice move, but you're starting to kind of like flatten out right here at around a 360, 27 million shares, great volume. We'll check out the icebergs on that in a few moments. But before we do that and go through that watch list like we always do, let's go over and see what is moving this morning, what moved yesterday, because yesterday wasn't really the greatest morning, but we did had a couple of nice moves out there. Silver was one of them that did really, really well yesterday, but look what ended up happening. You thought you had a good run up. Silver had a good move early in the morning, ran from 78, went all the way up to about 80. Now, boom, it's right back down to 77. So day trading works. Swing trading's not so much. Okay. So that one, we had PSLV, same thing. Nice move, 28 to 29, right back down to 28. USAR, nice move yesterday. Took a big hit. Is it kind of holding? Listen, rare earth has always been I'm been a big fan of it, and we all know about rare earth. What's going on with rare earth materials? We'll put this on the watch. It's on the B list. Okay. CRML. What happened with that one? This one got beat up. Was at 25. Went down to 10. Second day up. Can it be a swing trade? It's at a big support levels. Another metal stock? Yeah, maybe. CRML. We'll put that back on the watch list. MSTZ. All these stocks. MSTR got crushed. This is the opposite ETF. That one got beat up. Coin got beat up. And you know what? Let me bring Bitcoin over here to show you really quick. Bitcoin's down to 62,000. Okay. So, you know what? We have our analyst here at Cybertrade University. We got Josh. Josh is telling you he said himself, he's not, he's big on the Bitcoin. And you know what? A lot of these stocks trade with it, and he's still not a fan of it. He's got once in a while he gets caught up in it with me a little bit. I'm like, you know what? This stock looks like a steal. Maybe we'll buy it. But sure enough, he's been more right than me when it comes to that with these other stocks. Because listen, when you see a stock like Coinbase trading at 400 down to 150, you think it's a good deal. When you see a stock like MSTR and the stock was 450 and it's down to 120, you know what I mean? So you're like, is it the bottom? It's the bottom. It's the bottom. And he's still like saying, let's not catch that falling knife yet, but it's almost there. All right. A couple other stocks I want to bring up. Irene was also, Irene had a nice move yesterday. You could see that stock took a little beat up and it started making a little bit of a comeback. NEWP, that stock did really well this morning, but the volume was kind of low. IBRX, that one is probably the best. I'm sorry, I spelled it wrong. That stock has been absolutely probably our best mover of 2026 so far. It was at $2. It's at $10. It went to 11 yesterday. Starting to build some support levels. I'm still watching this. We're putting this on the B list. Listen, it's got a really, really big news on its cancer drug. That's one of the reasons why it's up. And obviously it's for real. No shakes. Did it shake? And it held. GNPX, another one, very cheapy. That one did pretty well too. All right. Now on the losers, I could just go down the list. Visa getting crushed. Maybe they didn't do too well on the on the Olympics. I know they were a big sponsor there. That's getting beat up, which is very rare. Never seen these stocks really take big hits like that in the credit card companies. Citibank also taking a little bit of a hit. IBM taking a little bit of a hit, 250 down to 225. Stock was up to 320. I don't know. Is that a good buy? It looked like a good buy right around the 240. Guess what? Broke it. Okay. Not a good sign. Broke. You got to go back next year, see support levels on that. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. APP got crushed. The stock was 700 down to 370. I mean, Nuvo also, that never came back. Nuvo's getting crushed from yesterday on their news. We just talk about MSTR and coin. So you could see it's been a really good short market. Okay. And that's really been the fun part about it. So remember, you don't always have to go long. You could always go short. All right. Now, as in the big percentage gainers and losers, let's go check and see what's going on. We had this stock VIR that's moving up pretty nicely. Good volume, great spread, but you gapped up pretty big. Obviously, it was our earnings, and now it's come back down. I'm going to put this on the B list, not on my A list. The LRMR, that one's holding up pretty strong. Let's go see where the orders are. LRMR. Let's see how that's going. Just bringing that up right now. Yeah, there's a couple of buyers out there at 360, I see. Nice little red line right there. You can see it right. I'll bring it over here. You guys can watch. Right here. Big buyers right there. All right. Warren on YouTube, it says Congress is beating up on the credit card companies. And you know what? They should. And I think, listen, I think Trump, and I know the Democrats are also a fan of this also, but they think he's not doing it too much, which I think would be a great thing. But credit card listen, banks pay you the dumbest, stupidest interest, and they take your money, right? You put it in the bank. What are they paying? 4% now because the interest rates are high. Prime is up. So they charge you a ridiculous amount to borrow a credit card. I don't even listen. I've grown up, back in the old days, and not even loan sharks charge you that much money. Loan sharks, now they're actually a deal compared to a credit card company. So getting back to, what's going on with that, you know what? They want to put a cap on what a credit card company can charge you. So if that happens, great short, baby. Great short. Not only I think we're all for that, because paying 25, 30, 35% interest is actually ridiculous. They are going to take a big hit. And that could be a good short. And not only be good for us on the credit cards, but be terrible for them. But listen, they've been making a killing for a long time. That's where they make most of their money. Let's not kid it. That and that learned also being here on Wall Street, they make a ton of money on currency by transferring money. You know how you transfer money from one country to the other and wonder why Forex has such a big spread? That's why. Okay, they make a killing on that too. Anyway, I don't want to waste any time. Me and Josh will talk about that. We'll have a great conversation talking about that during the power hour. All right. So a couple other stocks I do want to point out. This one's moving up pretty nicely right now. IOVA. Really nice mover on this one right here. IOVA. Just checking out the orders out here. A couple iceberg orders right now at $4 and $4.20. So we still got move on that one. Looks like the resistance is right here back in July. Those orders are still out there. Nice, good spread, good volume, everything we're looking for. Ugly spread right here, not interested. Ugly spread. Ugly spread. This one just shot up and came back down. Was AMD. Yeah, I guess that's the AMD had earnings, I guess. Is that when something happened right there? So that one's moving up pretty nicely. Let's put AMD. And remember, you got the ETFs that we trade. You don't have to trade AMD. You could trade the ETFs on it. But AMD, yeah, you know what? This one worked out. A lot of support levels at 200. You know what I mean? That's what you're kind of looking for right there. This one's cheap, inexpensive, good spread, going up pretty nicely. Stock's been on a really good swing trade. CDIO is going on the watch list. All right, now we're down to 10%. We're going to scratch. Let's go on the losers. Any good losers out there? Nothing. New York Stock Exchange. The stock took a very big hit lately. It's on an uptrend. Good volume, spread. Our list looks pretty light, but we've seen things like this change over as being very tradable when the market opens up. The stock's doing really well in the swing trade, but day trading looks ugly. Ugly, ugly. Great swing trade, earnings, but ugly spread. We're not trading the expensive stock like that. Wow, look at this. All $200 stocks. This is crazy. ETF. All right. Losers. The stock was up and now it's on a downtrend. All right. Looks like everything else looks pretty much like not that much. There's IBIT. IBIT is getting close to that big support levels, all-time lows right there. Yearly lows of 35.30. All right. All right, traders. So let's get ready for the market open up. Me and Josh will be back. Oh, is that what the news is at William? AMD with a deal with Meta. And Meta also, great run up, 600 to 750, right back down to 630. So there's definitely going to be some good buys out there. Listen, cash is king right now. Just be very patient. Be very careful on your swing trades, okay? Day trading has been doing really well. You see something, you say something. Try to just make your days pay. Focus on that. Try not to worry about everything else out there. I know President Trump has State of the Union tonight. I don't know if anybody's been watching it. If you're a fan or not a fan, I would listen to it because it says it's going to affect the stock market tomorrow. We'll see what he says and how it would help. Keeps telling about the economy's doing great, but certain stocks, obviously, even though the overall the year the market looks great, but some of the stocks obviously are not. So got to be careful when it comes to those. All right. Rich, with the mess with Iran, should we be looking at some of the oil stocks going up? Rich, not only the oil stocks, but also the military stocks, okay? So you could see the military stocks like Northrop Grumman. You could see, Lockheed Martin. You could see RTX. They've all done really well over the course of the year, okay? They're not the fastest, biggest movers, but yes, and there are some oil stocks we'll keep an eye on with that, and those are the ones that will obviously run with it. All right. All right, traders, I got to go. I know I'm running a little behind. Let's get ready for the market opened up. We'll be back in less than 10 minutes. If you're watching on social media, you got that QR code that's up on that screen right now. Take your phone, scan it. We'll get you in the trading floor. Josh will be doing Traders Talk today. Remember, we moved it from Monday to Tuesday. You got class on Friday, and then we got open house on Thursday. All right. So a lot of classes, a lot of training going on this week because remember, you got to learn. You got to learn before you can earn. As we always say. We'll be right back, everyone. Me, Josh, and Rich will be ready to trade with you. Everyone else, we'll see you back here at 2:30, or just click on that link, and you can come and join our trading room. We'll see you there. Good luck, everybody. Trade safe. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.